they're behind you. I was like, it's a volcano. What are you talking about? He's like, it's behind you. And the guy goes, I can't see him. I can't. Hello and welcome back to the 187th episode. Good, Bad, or Bad Show. Watch terrible movies. Tell you if you should too. My host, Mr. Brian Shilligo, joining me once again in the lead up to the Christmas season, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle, we have a tradition around these parts. In December, we celebrate a very special holiday.
It's Dean-cember. It's the Dean-cember celebration.
It is Dean-cember, baby. We're back. Sorry we missed you guys for an episode or two last month, but we are back with a vengeance, coming in hot.
Oh my
so
God.
hot. Pun intended. With a Dean Cain classic from 2014.
I was blown away by this. I had never heard of this. The second we saw Asylum pop up.
Yeah, that was my first note. Was, it's an Asylum film, but I will allow it for this movie, Kyle, because this movie is fucking crazy. It also has a crazy fucking name.
Yes.
Which is
Airplane versus Volcano.
You sure about this? What choice do we have?
the thing that's crazy about this movie is that you see Asylum, you see that name, and you assume this movie is intentionally bad. And it might be, but if it is, it's the strangest intentionally bad movie. Because it doesn't feel to me intentionally bad.
I can't tell if stuff is just cut out of this film or if they were just like, eh.
Yeah, this so many times in my notes, Kyle, I just had a thing like, where is the rest of this movie? What is it? This movie cares not at all about making any sense or even trying to.
Things need to happen. It just happens.
Yes, it is written from the most economical storytelling angle possible, which is who gives a fuck? We'll just write whatever we want and then have people say words to make it work, kind of, not really.
What the hell's going on here? What is this? Your rejection. My what?
It's fucking nuts. So many things come out of nowhere and go nowhere, and you could the science in this movie may be the worst science ever in a movie.
This goes very deep into the fantasy side of sci-fi.
Oh my god, it is insane.
Considering the quake's source duration and magnitude,
the crust can only take so much pressure before the magma builds.
As you said, this is Dean-cember, so this is a Dean Cain vehicle, 2014 film. Produced by Asylum. I don't know who directed it, but as the opening credits roll, the opening credits are amazing. They're like pre-rendered like fire and things, which is the worst like font, and but it's going through all the names, and one of the last names in the credits, I don't know if you saw this, was Matt Mercer, and I was like, is it that Matt Mercer?
The voice guy?
Yeah, I was like, the dude from Critical Role. It is spoilers. It's not.
It would be great if it was.
Yes, it is not that Matt Mercer. Well, I thought it could be because I knew he was like an actor.
Yeah,
like,
and this would have been earlier in his career.
Yeah, so. I was like, so maybe? I don't know, but it is not that Matt Mercer. It is a different one.
Hello, my name is Matthew Mercer. I'm a voice actor and the Dungeon Master for Critical Role here at Geek and Sundry.
But anyways, we open, like you said, this movie wastes zero time.
No,
at all.
It is Airplane versus Volcano. We are immediately on the airplane.
Yes, there is a brief opening right before. Well, we might open on the airplane. I can't remember, but there is the little cold open with the volcanologist on the island or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the cold open, we start on this island, there's this old guy walking around studying volcanoes, and I guess a giant volcano just erupts out of the ocean.
And he gets just...
Well, first he sees all of these CG volcanoes sticking out of the ocean.
It's like, oh, these new islands are being formed. And I'm sure you've seen footage of islands being formed in the Pacific. Like they have these... just below the surface volcanoes that erupt, and they
slowly build magma and whatnot.
But then like the ocean current will like break it away. So it's hard to get anything permanent.
Right.
And these are just there. They're like 50 feet tall.
Yeah, they're like several stories tall volcano tops sticking out of the ocean.
I was like, oh look, new islands are being formed. It's like, not quite, but okay.
Apparently they literally just shot right out of the ground, and this guy is just like, oh, this is amazing, and he's talking. We're also introduced to the lady volcanologist, who I don't know if we ever hear her name, who will be important later in the movie. She's talking to him, and they're kind of chatting, and I love that. So all this the fucking volcanoes pop up, and then they're like, oh no, the seismic activity, it's going crazy.
Joseph, it's right on top of you. Go now!
And he just starts to run, and I love the idea that like we see like a pyroclastic flow like coming, and he's like, I can outrun it, and it's like, no, you cannot. You're a volcanologist.
I was getting rings.
You would be aware.
I was getting Rings of Powers flashbacks.
Oh yeah. But I love
Spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen that.
Yeah, but I love that he we don't because this is an asylum super shit budget movie. Like he starts running, and then there's just this awkward cut, and we just see a giant wave of lava.
Yes, and it just gone.
Like it snuck up on him. He's like running, and we don't see anything, and all of a sudden there's a 60-foot wave of lava.
It's like if it was a serial killer, and he's like going down a hallway with like a flashlight, and it pops out of the shadows with a knife.
Yeah,
that's the lava.
Yeah, that is the 60-foot wall of lava. It's like, surprise, bitch. It's incredible.
Joseph?
So he dies, or that guy dies, and our other volcanologist lady is very upset. Then we cut to the plane.
Yeah.
And now we're on the plane, where we will stay primarily. It will be one of our main two locations for the rest of the film. We're on this plane, and we're introduced to all the kind of characters on our plane. The first one, and I could talk about this guy forever, that we see is and I can't remember, it's like Rig something. What is that? The crazy guy. I have a note later with his name. Krieger. That's it.
Krieger! Drop it.
This is the enduring mystery of this film to me. Is what the fuck is this guy's deal, Kyle?
I think he's just like having a mental breakdown.
Is that what?
Because like he doesn't seem to have any ulterior motive.
No, I kept waiting for them to explain what was going on with this guy. Because we first see him, very first shot, he's like, he's like sweaty, and he like looks like he's like going through withdrawal.
Like the other thing I was like, it would have been interesting if like, I don't know, maybe he was a coke mule or something.
That's what I thought was gonna be the thing, was that he had a bunch of drugs in his stomach or something, and that's what I thought, and that he was like slowly overdosing or something. You know what I mean?
No, he's just having a mental breakdown.
He's just losing his shit, and they never explain why. Like, he's just a guy who's not having a good day, I guess.
My kid, I keep fudging.
We'll get to it later, but his plot line is insane, because there's a moment later where he foments an insurrection that I do not understand. We'll get to it. It's fucking wild. So that's that guy. Then we're introduced to Jim, who's we will find out is an air marshal on this flight.
Air Marshal Boom Boom.
Yes.
My English homework. Epstein said you do it.
Oh no, Freddie, man, it would smack out of my head.
And there's a mom and her son, little like a 10-year-old son or something like that. And then a couple other people, and then Dean Cain, who is there. Oh, and then the other volcanologist, who is flying to
Brandon,
meet up.
I think.
Yeah, who's flying to meet up with the lady volcanologist from the beginning. To talk about these volcanoes that just killed their other guy earlier.
In the arms of the angel.
But I love, we get this incredible line where Dean Cain is asleep at this point, but Jim, the air marshal, turns and he's talking to, I think, the mom or somebody, some woman, and she's like, Hank, right? You look like a Hank. And he's like, no, my name's Jim.
Hank, right? You look like a Hank.
And I was like, what is this conversation?
Did this guy look familiar to you at all?
Like, vaguely, but not a lot.
I looked who it was, and I was like, is that so the only two things of note he's been in as far as like being like a main character, because he's one of those guys who's been in everything. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, I think his name is. I looked it up. He was in LA Heat as a detective, and Welcome Back, Mr. Cotter. He was one of the students. Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Incredible.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Incredible. He's pretty good in this. He's a lot of fun, but I love. She's like, you look like. I was like, who? What is? That's the most insane lead off to a conversation. Whatever.
Actually, it's Jim.
I will say what it felt like very much to me is somebody who trying to write clever dialogue without really writing clever dialogue.
We know what they're about.
I'm hit. Runway 3, ejecting.
Well, yeah, to me, it just felt like somebody like, okay, I'm going to write something, like trying to write weird Tarantino-style dialogue, but like not being any good at it. So you write a person being like, you look like, you're a Hank, aren't you? And he's like, what? No, my name's Jim. And it's the whole thing is just
Jim.
Weird and uncomfortable.
You look like a Hank.
Actually, it's Jim.
So they start flying, and I love. Then we cut up to the cabin, and we're introduced to the cockpit. We're introduced to the pilot and the co-pilot, and they're flying. And all of a sudden, the radio goes out, and they're trying to talk on the radio.
Yeah.
It's not working. And there's again, because everything is slightly off and wrong in this movie, is that the pilot can't use the radio, and then the co-pilot tries it, and
it's the same radio.
Yeah, same thing. And the co-pilot tries it, and he goes.
That's not what scares me.
What's that?
How long it's been down.
Radio's down. And it's like, well, yeah, you already knew that. And he goes, but that's not what scares me. And the pilot goes, what? And he goes, it's how long it's been down. And I'm like, but how would you know how long it's been down if you just now realized?
ATC is like pretty constant.
Also, yeah, that's not how anything works. I don't think like you can't just not realize your radio's down on a plane. I don't think on a commercial airliner these
Although
days.
they are like over like the open ocean.
I don't know. Look, I'm not a fucking pilot. It just felt crazy to me because, and again, the line of it's how long it's been down. But like, how would you know how if you didn't have anything? If you just now are finding out, how would you know how long the radio? Maybe he's saying that we don't know how long it's been down, and so they've been out of contact. But if they've been out of contact, how have they been flying the fucking
instruments?
Well, but the autopilot still works fine, so it's clearly talking to something. You know what I mean? The plane is talking to something.
It knows where it's at.
Yeah, it knows where it's at because anyways.
They talked about it later whenever he was hacking into the satellite relay that's keeps their coordinates.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
This film has everything.
It really does have everything. It's fucking crazy.
See, all these lines are connected to a link, which is then routed to a satellite down to a designated target.
So I love that. And then all of a sudden, they emerge from some clouds. And it is just hell on
oh
earth.
yes. This hellfire just everywhere.
There's literally it looks like fucking Mordor. It's just like volcanoes everywhere spewing lava and like fucking
so this is
rocks.
what would happen if we had taken the Eagles.
Flaming rocks and shit. And I love that they're flying, and I think it's the co-pilot goes,
It's not the runway. Where are we? Our compass is wrong.
That's not the runway. And it's like, no fucking shit, man. That's not the runway. You're not wrong. It's literally just a giant fuck-off volcano. I don't know what. You're right, it's not a runway. These pilots, they're so bad. They're killing me.
Thank God they die so quickly.
Yes. And I love that the pilot's plan seems to be, he's like, all right, when I tell you, oh God, things are going crazy. When I tell you, throttle all the way up. So apparently the plan is just fly faster through the volcano.
Yeah. They can't elevate. They can't get above everything.
Why?
I think it has something to do with like the height of the ash cloud.
They say something about the ash at some point later, but I don't believe any of this. So none of this sounds feasible to me or plausible at all. But so their plan is literally just fly faster through the volcano.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, eventually you're going to pass it. Well, then we'll get to that in a second. But Anyway, so like I love at this point the plane has been like fucking going through crazy turbulence. People in the cabin have been like falling over
all over the place.
All the windows are like covered in ash, so they can't see anything. And I love the fucking flight attendant walks up and opens the door, sees outside, and goes,
Engaged.
Hey, is everything okay?
"Is everything okay up here?" Like, what do you fucking think? Is everything okay?
I just want to tell you both, we're all counting on you. Good luck.
I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
Hey, is everything okay? No! Look! It's incredible. So at that point, then something happens where they get something like hits the pilot.
Yeah,
I don't know
like
what happens
just
to the
this
pilot.
this molten rock or something just like flies through the windshield.
Yeah, I
area,
guess. Yeah,
killing the co-pilot and
well, the other guy gets electrocuted. The co-pilot gets electrocuted. The pilot gets hit with something.
Yeah, he
where
gets
he's,
hit
like,
with some
bleeding.
shrapnel.
Yeah.
He's just bleeding like crazy.
Yeah, so he starts dying, and she's the flight attendant is talking to him, and he has the plane is now in autopilot,
Yes.
I guess. But he tells her, you need the passcode to get it out of autopilot, and then he dies before he can tell her the passcode to get it out of autopilot.
Dan, what is the passcode? Dan, what is the passcode?
But then we cut back to the plane, and I love at this point one of the volcanologist guys like checking on people, and he goes to check on Krieger, who again is like freaking out.
Yes.
And he like walks up to him and he goes to like tap and be like, "Are you okay?" And the camera does like a push horror snap zoom on the guy, like he's a horror villain. And I'm like, what is happening? What is going on?
He is like the most cartoon. They present him as the most cartoonish villain possible.
Yes. And I do,
and for
no
zero
motivation.
reason.
Yes, with zero motivation.
So are you just like, are you after money or are
you just crazy? Like, what is the deal here? At one point, somebody says, like, the flight attendant's like, he's like, "Do you have any Advil or whatever?" And she's like,
"Please, do you have any aspirin?"
No, I'm sorry, sir. We're out.
It's probably the altitude is messing. It's like, what?
He's got the bins.
Yeah, like, what are you talking? Altitude sickness? Like, what's happening?
He was scuba diving. Brian, now this is his backstory. He was scuba diving prior.
Got right off out of the water
well,
onto the plane.
He got this secret money that he can't let anybody know about. So he's keystering it. He's muling all the cash and gold
He's got like one of those rolls of pennies, but it's a roll of galleons of like gold, like
exactly. So he's feeling the effect of the bins while still trying to smuggle all this gold.
That would be the only reasonable explanation for how insane this guy acts this whole movie. It's incredible. But again, I do appreciate, like you said, this movie does not fuck around. We are like 8 minutes into the movie and shit is just off the rails already. So they're still just been flying, and I think at this point Dean Cain makes his way up to the cockpit because he has some pilot experience. He says, like he's flown smaller planes or whatever. We never find his whole background out, but we do know he's flown some planes.
You ever fly anything this big?
No, largest I've ever flown is a King Air.
And he gets up to the cockpit, and we've just been flying for like a while, and I was confused because I didn't realize at first that it was circling. I was like,
no.
How many volcanoes are there? You're flying
Also,
like hundreds of miles an hour.
If it's on autopilot, why would the autopilot continue to circle?
I don't know. Because they thought they were getting close to like the airport, I guess, and
Which
so
would
maybe
be
it's
on
in
the
like a
island.
waiting pattern or something
yeah.
kind of thing. I
like
guess
something for like inclement weather or something.
Or
like
yeah, like they can't land for some reason, so it goes into like because they say later that the reason they have the passcodes and the reason it's circling is to do with like post 9/11, like a terrorist thing.
So the holding pattern just happens to be the same diameter
as all the volcanoes.
Yeah.
Yes, it happens to literally be the circle of fire, the fucking ring of volcanoes that they're flying. So it's just flying in a circle through these volcanoes. Because I was like, you would be past those volcanoes so quickly in a plane that was flying, but no, it's circling the volcanoes, which is incredible. Again, because of some anti-terrorist thing, so they can't turn the autopilot off, which will also become the dumbest fucking thing in this movie.
Yes, which by the way, I think they cover this in the Denzel Washington movie Flight.
Oh, do they?
About overriding the autopilot. Like, there's a way to switch the elevator over to manual, so you can have actual control. Now, you don't get hydraulics with it,
but you can do it like you can muscle that shit. Incredible. Oh my god.
Also, cocaine helps when you fly.
Then we get some great exposition from the volcanologist, who has made his way to the front of the plane and is like sitting in the cockpit with Dean Cain and is looking out, and he goes, "I know volcanoes. This is only gonna get worse."
I study volcanoes, and I doubt this is the worst.
It's like you're just looking at it like, what?
Well, like they're all going up. So Dean Cain goes back to get help from somebody who I guess looks like they can handle themselves. This one guy, what was his name, Nick or something like that?
Oh, the mechanic guy?
Yeah, the mechanic guy.
You, what's your name? Me? Frank. Frank, come here. Need your help, please.
He's like, "Hey, you, I need your help.
I need your help moving the bodies out of
the air marshal gets up to check things out because he's an air marshal. And then the scientist guy's like, "Wait, I know things." He didn't tell him what he knows.
I need to know what you know. I can help.
He just says he knows things. He gets up there. He's like, "I know volcanoes."
Like, what are you doing in the cockpit?
Shit's fucked. He's just literally like, "This shit's fucked, man. I don't know." But I love it. They then in this scene realize that the plane is stuck in autopilot. Dean Cain can't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's just flying in a circle. And so they literally say, "We just have to wait it out."
No chance of flying over that thick ash cloud. That'll destroy our engines. We're gonna have to ride it out.
I'm like, what does that mean?
Wait out what?
The volcanoes ending? Like, what does that mean? Like, the volcanoes are they just gonna stop being volcanoes? I don't understand. Whatever. He's like, we just gotta wait it out. It's like, all right, cool. Then we cut to the military base. And we're introduced.
You mean
to all
the
conference room,
the Hyatt region?
Yes.
This is the exact. I guarantee you, this is the exact same like hotel conference room that they had in Titanic 2.
Yes. It literally it might 100% be the exact same one because it's got like wooden shutters on the windows and stuff, and you're just like, this is not like a highly secure military base like fucking intel room or whatever. This is a conference room at a hotel. Incredible.
And 100%, we need statistics, we need military, we need people who look like they know specialist type stuff. I need a clear marker board, like 4 of them. I need like 4 of them in this room.
Marker boards that we will make that are very clearly a sheet of plexi between 2 tube nanlite things. Then I think the top is literally just wrapped in black wrap, like or gaff tape or something that looks so terrible. It was.
And we're gonna do multiple shots through this.
Yes,
because it'll be like math and shit.
Yeah,
math and science.
Also, we won't clean them first, so you'll just see a bunch of like dirt and specks on the plastic.
I want us to look at specialists and like the scientist lady, and I want math and science shit in front of them.
Amazing, dude. And the general or colonel or whatever, maybe the worst actor I've ever seen.
He is a general. I remember them talking about that.
Okay, Landon. This is Colonel Riker. He's gonna tell you what to do.
They call him Colonel a lot, I feel like, don't they? I don't know. Whatever.
Check this out. But Colonel would make sense. General would be like, what are you doing in control of this small little like battalion?
I think they call him different stuff throughout the movie because I swear several times they call him Colonel, but I swear other times they called him General, so I don't know.
Congratulations on your promotion.
I truly don't know. Oh God, but he's a terrible actor. I love how he's fucking awful.
You can fill in my exo with everything you know, starting with how did this dead island suddenly wake up?
So they're like, oh, shit's going crazy. And then we kind of established that they're working on problems on their end. Then we go back to the plane. The drink cart rolls down the aisle and breaks a dude's arm. And I love that just all of a sudden the flight attendant knows how to set bones. She's like, I got this.
More so than, okay, so I know this because, shocker, I've broken my arm before.
Ooh.
That whenever you set a broken bone, it needs to be in this position because this is, I think they call, this is the position in which your bone straighten out. That's how that happened when they set it.
Okay.
His, of course, was like this.
Yeah. But yeah,
which you can do, but it's like not recommended.
I don't know. She does it. She snaps that bone back in there, and they strap a piece of broken broom handle to it as a splint.
What is that doing on the plane? Like, not so much like, yeah, sure, maybe you could have a broom on a plane. Why is it made of wood?
Seems very weird. You would think it would be like a really lightweight plastic,
like,
or something,
or aluminum or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but they have a wooden broom handle that he breaks in half so they can use it as a splint on his arm. Meanwhile, sweaty guy continuing to be weird.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what his deal is. He's just acting like a psychopath. It's amazing. Then we cut back to the conference room at the Regency Inn, and the volcano scientist lady there wants to shoot a probe into the volcano so that they can get measurements. She's like, if we shoot a probe into it, I can know things about it.
Which I think she said like heat or something, but like she's already getting seismic activity.
Whatever, dude. I have no idea. But they need to send a helicopter or a plane out to go launch to go launch this probe. It's amazing. So then also I love this. They're I think it's while the guy's flying towards it to like shoot the probe, they have like video of the volcanoes, and the volcanologist lady is looking at it, and she's talking to like one of the other military guys, and she's like, look at this.
Superheated, not very dense. The lighter the density, the more likely it is to stay airborne.
Interesting. The lava isn't very dense. The less dense it is, the more likely it is to stay airborne. That sentence is insane. The less dense the lava is, the more likely it is to stay airborne. And what you would say, I would think it would be like the longer it takes to fall, but even that doesn't seem true to me.
Also, lava's not very, it's very dense, just in general.
Yeah. Also, how could you tell by looking at a video? I don't understand what that means.
I guess the flow or something.
But the sentence following, like maybe she could look at it and say the lava isn't very dense.
The lava, it's superheated, not very dense. The lighter the density, the more likely it is to stay airborne.
The less dense it is, the more likely it is to stay airborne. I don't think that's true unless my physics are completely fucked. No matter how dense it is, it's gonna fall.
Yeah.
The density would matter more in water, like sinking or floating, I think, but like not falling from through the air.
It shouldn't, because they would need like air resistance or whatever.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but that sentence sounded insane to me.
We're not volcanologists, but
add that to the long list of things we are not. This episode already, not pilots, not volcanologists. But holy shit, that sentence sounded insane to me.
We're already failing at the two aspects of this movie: airplanes and volcanoes.
Yeah.
Now what do you think?
You think I'm qualified?
So then I love the helicopter that goes to shoot out that probe just gets vaporized by a pyroclastic flow. Great. The guy's just like, oh no, there's a fucking cloud advancing toward me at 600 miles an hour. I think I'm gonna die. And he's like, oh my god. Oh, and then also an entire beach full of people gets vaporized.
Oh god, more so than that. Like the volcanologist literally says, "You just got a new Pompeii."
Yeah.
Your shores are the new Pompeii.
Well, because we watch it happen, and I love there's a close-up, like they have, I guess, like a security camera on the beach, because they watch this come in, and we watch a mother and child turn into stone like the fucking people in Pompeii. It's incredible.
It's great.
It's fucking incredible. It looks so terrible.
The lifeguard is pretty fantastic in that too.
Yeah.
Like, please exit the beach in a calm and orderly manner.
This is an emergency. Please quit. And now like they're just like, I guess we'll just like, you guys are fucked. It's a little late at this point. We cut back to the plane, And Dean Cain is trying to turn off the autopilot because he literally can't fly the plane, even though throughout this movie, constantly people will tell him to fly the plane, even though we know the whole time that the autopilot
I think he
is
says, like,
on.
I got a little bit of give, and that's about it.
Whatever.
Can you move that thing?
There's a little bit of movement in the wheel. I might be able to force it to maneuver.
So he's he can move it a little bit.
Tells the flight attendant to, like, hey,
there's a switch.
Flip this breaker.
There's a switch underneath that you got to flip. And I love, he says, again, because this movie, he says,
It's going to look completely different than the other switches. It's going to be either color-coded or it's going to be a totally different switch altogether.
It's going to be color-coded or it'll look completely different than it'll be, or like a completely different switch altogether. And then we keep seeing this panel that is 6 switches, all color-coded. It's like 2 red, 2 blue, and 2 black or something like that. And so he's already wrong because there's not like a separate
there's
one
not
that's
one
different.
that looks different.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So then she's like, oh, I think I see it. And then she flips one of the red ones. And apparently that is the dump our fuel out of the wing switch.
Nice. Nice.
Which this plane just has under there. Because they start dumping fuel out of the wing. And then it catches fire. This is a kind of brilliant idea for a moment. It catches fire. A fucking flaming boulder falls through the tail of it. And so it catches fire and it is traveling. The flame is traveling up the stream of fuel towards the plane. And Dean Cain is like, oh shit, I gotta go switch the thing off. So he's under there trying to fix it. And I love as soon as he gets under there, she yanks on the thing and slams his head against the dashboard. She's like completely fucking everything up.
That's great.
It's incredible.
It's like the Mr. Magoo of like trying to solve problems.
Yes, it's so amazing. She slams his head into the thing, and then finally at the last second, right as the fire's getting up to the plane, he's able to find the switch and switch it, and then it cuts the fuel so that they don't explode. Which I thought that was a fun moment. That was pretty good. But now they're basically like running out of gas, obviously, because it's dumped like tons of fuel out of their plane. The plane is stuck in autopilot. They're like running out of gas. They're just like completely fucked. It's just great stuff all around, team. You really solid. You really did a good job on this problem.
Oh boy.
How long do we have?
It's an hour at best.
Meanwhile, Jim has been getting the other volcanologist guy to like hack into the satellite so that they can maybe talk to somebody. And he has this great line once he's like, I got it to work, but I haven't been able to get anybody on it, but I got it to work. And he's like, wow, you're a genius. And he goes,
I minored in genius, but I majored in awesome. It's ready to transmit.
I minored in genius, but I majored in awesome. God, you're the worst. You're the worst. You're the worst. Meanwhile, and this is maybe my favorite incomprehensible part of the movie, the crazy sweaty guy.
Yes.
While all of this has been happening, apparently has fomented an insurrection. Him and like 3 other guys. Who are these other guys, and why are they agreeing with this?
I have no clue, but they are going to take over the plane.
They charge the cockpit and like grab Dean Cain and the other guy, like the volcanologist, or like a couple of the people in the flight attendant or whatever, and like have them hostage. And then Jim pulls out a gun because he's an air marshal, and it was just like, what is happening? It's incredible. And he's able to use his gun to cool the situation down because crazy guy breaks. I love this. This is a little moment. He's he's threatening to kill, I think, the volcanologist or maybe the mechanic or something. And normally, in a movie you would like break a beer bottle and like, but because we're on a plane, he breaks
little
cocktail.
But wouldn't they be made out of plastic?
Yes, they would, of course, obviously. But I loved that idea. And he's got him like between his knuckles. Great. And he's like,
You join him. Open the door!
Gonna stab this guy.
We're gonna throw Dean Cain out of the plane.
Yes, they're gonna throw Dean Cain out of the. He's trying to force the guy to open the door so they can throw Dean Cain out of the plane. It's fucking insane. And again, none of this guy's motivation will ever be explained, nor will we ever address these other guys who just decided to help this psychopath take over the plane. It's crazy.
What the hell's going on here? What is this? Your ejection. My what?
And then, but like I said, Jim uses his gun to kind of dissolve. He's like, hey, fuck off, stop it. And he puts down the things, and then he locks him in the bathroom. He like handcuffs him in the bathroom. And then he turns to Dean Cain, and he's like, Rick, fly. And I'm like, it's on autopilot. Yes. He can't do anything. It's already flying itself. God damn it.
He gets to the cockpit. He's like, look, the only thing I care about is, can you fly this plane?
Sure.
Sure?
Yeah.
Can you fly this plane?
That's literally, he has this very serious moment where he goes up to Dean Cain. He's like, I need you to tell me for the truth. Can you fly this plane? And I'm like,
if I had control properly.
He's not flying. Nobody's flying and it's on autopilot. That's been the whole thing.
Oh,
it's like half of this script. It's like they wrote half of these scenes
and then forgot about it.
And then forgot that the whole time that the fucking plane was on autopilot.
Is this where that one piece of debris clogs one of the engines?
We're getting very close to that. Very, very close to that. Because
good.
we have to talk we're basically there. But we just have to set up the fact that the main military, the general, colonel, whatever, they want to try to rescue this plane. They now know this plane is in
the
there.
colonel's like, I've already lost 2 men or whatever.
I'm not sending anybody in there to try to help this plane. But then all of his underlings, like fucking
are starting to usurp.
Yes.
It's like Crimson Tide level of like, we need to, they
forge a document with his name.
Like, you want to talk about doing?
Yeah, they literally forge a document saying they have orders from him to proceed with this like rescue mission or whatever, and they're like, all right, let's do it.
Everything you could possibly do to get court-martialed.
Yeah, so they're going to start this secret rescue mission, which again, the way this plays out was hilarious. We'll get to it, but then we go back to the plane, and the plane makes no fucking sense, Kyle. We watch a giant flaming hunk of magma, whatever, fall out of the sky and hit the engine. And I was like, oh shit, it like fucked your engine. No, it jammed it.
Jammed it, but like, it's liquid. Why would it not have any give and like seep into the engine?
Also, it would have just completely fucked.
It would have melted it.
Yes, it would have just like it's falling out of the sky. It's a big hunk of rock essentially. It would have just destroyed it probably. Like, it wouldn't be jammed. It's
everything about this is dumb. But their solution to solving the problem is incredible.
It's incredible. It's so good. So good. Again, it's in. Oh my god.
So the mechanic guy says,
"You send me out there. I can unclog that and get her going.
I'm gonna go out there and fix it."
And I was like, "Wait, what is your plan here?
What?
What is your plan?"
I just need my tools. I'm like, hang on. How'd you have a hammer on this plane?
He has a hammer in the carry-on. He brought a fucking clawed hammer.
Try that in the airport.
Yeah, I don't think they would allow that on. But he has a fucking claw hammer on the airplane. And I love, dude, and my favorite thing is that all of this will play out, and we're going to talk through it in excruciating detail because it's some of the best stuff in the movie. But none of this will matter because eventually 2 of the engines will just completely be gone. And so him fixing this one engine seemingly was pointless or whatever. So the plan they come up with is
they get all the seat belts and put them in a huge chain to give him a safety line.
Yes.
And they let him open the door and jump out of the plane.
That's so funny.
In the special, oh god. Okay, Brian, you and I know After Effects enough to know how they did this. And my god, if you would have hired me to do this, I would have been laughing my ass off the entire time making this fucking file.
It's so good, dude. He's
doing this the whole time.
Flapping against the side of the jet with his arms and he's like strapped to the belt, and then at one point they like lose their grip on the rope, and he like slams into the wing,
which probably broke his ribs.
Yeah, right. But he's then able to crawl over to the engine that has the thing on it, or the fucking rock in it, or whatever.
Hammers the shit out of it.
Hits it with a hammer. And he's like, yeah, and it knocks it free, and the engine works fine. Sure, not damaged at all, just had a rock stuck in it, I guess. Sure, whatever. And they start pulling him back in, and it was exactly what I thought was going to happen. I had a thought that this would happen.
What I thought it was going to be, honestly, was the Krieger guy.
was gonna like
because the
I also
seatbelt
thought the same thing.
goes right in front of the bathroom door.
I also thought the same thing.
Yeah, but no, they're pulling him in, and the seatbelts go in one direction.
If you've ever
basically,
like flown on a plane, the latch on a seatbelt buckles. Like in order to release it, you pull it up or whatever, and then pull it out. And so they had them in a way where when they were letting him out, the latch was sliding over things like flat. But as they're pulling him back in, it's now going the other way. And one of the buckles catches on like the edge of the door.
And he gets...
and goes...
Oh my God. So he gets unhooked from this. He gets pureed into that fucking jet engine.
It's the stupidest. I love it so much.
It's so funny.
Oh my God.
The special effects in that part alone... worth price of admission.
All of my notes here, all capitals. And at the end, I just wrote unbelievable, amazing, best movie ever. This is incredible. This whole moment is so fucking good. It's so good. It's so good. And then they decide, I don't remember. This might be when they need to drop, luggage to like lose weight
because they are too heavy, they're losing altitude, they're low on fuel, and so they dump all the luggage.
And my favorite thing is when they do that, apparently this commercial airliner that they're on
backloaded
a giant fucking military plane cargo bay on the back of it,
and not like a side load like a normal
commercial or like a little door in the side that they just throw the luggage in. It is a full on, like you could park like a Humvee in the back of this. It's like come on but so they're standing in the back. Well, they just need that for later in the movie because a lot of people are going to go in and out of that door later. But they have this thing open and they're like throwing all the luggage out. It's great. Then we cut back to the military base, and the military base is under attack from Volcano now. And this sequence is so also incredible.
Just molten rock just coming down from the sky, engulfing people.
One guy gets a hole blown through his chest and does the comical and then he gets hit by another one and explodes. And then another guy, Kyle, incredibly, he fucking catches on fire. His hands are on fire.
Yeah, and they just rip off.
They're
it's
trying to
so
pick him
good.
up by his hands, and he degloves his entire forearm.
Oh.
I love it so much. Holy shit. And then there's a guy trapped in an SUV they're trying to save, and they can't get him out, and then the SUV just explodes, and we get this awesome Michael Bay slow-mo shot of it flying over their heads. It's so stupid. I love it so much.
I want to know the special effects team that worked on this.
Oh, it's fucking amazing. Meanwhile, the plane back up in the air gets hit by another fucking flaming meteor because it just keeps getting hit by flaming meteors and it's fine. It's just whatever. Yeah. But they're still losing altitude. This is incredible. They're still losing altitude because even though they threw all the luggage off and blah, 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 they still have too much extra weight. But two of the engines, because they've been hit by, or at least one of the engines, because it has been hit by,
it's no longer working.
Yes, it got hit by the rock thing, so it's no longer working.
And they still need to lose more weight. What's heavy on a plane? Apparently an engine.
Apparently the engine is heavy. So Dean Cain has a brilliant plan, which is so stupid because what I thought he was going to do, which would at least make some sense, is fly the plane close enough to the top of a volcano to try to shear it off. But what he does is he apparently, with just incredible aim and precision, unbelievable, sees a falling hunk of magma and
lines up the plane engine with it.
The mathematical calculations involved with that, Kyle, are fucking insane. That is a 1 in a gajillion shot. Are you kidding me?
You just have the hangover math shit. Dean Cain's
literally, and also, but spoilers, he can barely fly the plane, so he manages to do this while barely being able to even move the plane. But he apparently judges it just perfect that he and times the speed and everything just perfect that the falling rock hits the engine as they're flying by and knocks it off.
It's so crazy. It's so dumb.
Oh my God, it's incredible. Again, this movie might be the dumbest thing we've watched in a long time. Like, it is so over the top stupid.
The amount of brain need off for this is great, and it's so much fun because of that.
It's unbelievable. Then they decide, okay, our secret group of military guys that are planning a secret thing, they have a plane coming in to save them.
Yes.
And I was like, what's the plan here? What are they? I couldn't even figure out what the idea was.
They are going to jump onto the plane.
Yes. From the cargo, because remember, this commercial airliner has a giant military cargo door in the back.
Yes.
So their plan is they're going to fly this military plane up, and it has like a hatch in the top of it. It's going to come up underneath the cargo hole in the back, and the people are going to jump.
It's like an AC-130 or something like that is what they're trying to jump to.
And the people are going to jump from the cargo hold onto the plane and get into the military plane so it can fly away.
They were just about ready to throw that fucking kid. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. So they get the first lady does it. She gets on and gets in. And then another guy gets on and gets in. They're like, it's working. And then immediately the fucking military plane just gets hit by a goddamn bomb.
Yeah, it loses a wing
rock
and just
and
goes.
It completely crashes and explodes. And my favorite thing is that he's just the general guy was just right. He was just right. Yeah. He was like, it's too dangerous. This is terrible.
100% right.
You and your team are relieved of duty. Sir. You will be court-martialed.
And then the guys who do this coup in order to send in this rescue mission just get like a bunch of people killed. And it's like, oh, sick, amazing, great.
Whenever he's like, you're gonna get court-martialed, and it's like this guy, Tully, I think his name is a specialist, is like trying to rally up all these privates around him to be like, we're gonna go and do the right thing. You just got like five of our guys
killed. A bunch
killed.
of people killed, yeah. Well, and then my favorite thing is right after that happens, right before it happens, the colonel shows up because he finds out this is happening, and he walks into the control room and goes,
"You, sir, we're getting the passengers on the rescue plane. Bob, pull it up on screen."
You, which is great. But afterwards, so the plane has crashed, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And they're all standing around, and now they're like out of hope. So the thing that happens is all of the people on the plane get on the radio and start like saying goodbye to their loved ones.
Yes.
And this convinces
all they had to do was and the general's heart grew 3 sizes.
Exactly. He hears them being like, God. I love you, bye. And he's like, well, I guess we will try to save them. And it's like,
we have a duty, and that is to protect our people.
Yeah, all right. Scramble the jets for some reason we have here.
Yeah. So they're going to scramble jets, which again, this is nonsense. We'll get to that in a second. I don't even understand the point. They literally dogfight a volcano, Kyle. I don't understand what the fuck is going on in this movie.
So good.
But meanwhile, on the plane, Jim has a brilliant plan. They're gonna they have a raft and they have one parachute, and they're gonna attach the parachute to the raft and parachute down to the ocean. And he says his plan to everybody. He's like, so that's what we're gonna do. And everybody on the plane's like, yay! And I'm like, you guys are fucking insane.
Connected to the raft, and then we're all gonna ride down to the ocean.
That is not gonna work. What are you talking about? And I love the flight attendants like,
not everybody can fit on that raft, Jim.
You're gonna get the women and the kid off first.
There's not enough room on the raft for everybody. And goes, I know. We'll just do the women and children first. And it's like, all right, great, amazing. Cool. So they're gonna start doing that, but then
Krieger gets his gun or something.
Crazy guy gets free from the bathroom. He's able to rip like the thing off that he was handcuffed to. And he gets out and he's able to get the gun from Jim, and they're fighting over it, and he shoots Jim.
Yeah.
But we get a classic, like, we hear a gunshot and don't know which one of them got shot.
It's great.
Obviously, it was fucking Jim. So Jim gets shot and he's fucking falling over and he's dying. And then, so Krieger takes the parachute in the raft and gets down to the bottom, and he's able to parachute.
Yeah,
it works.
Hey,
works brilliantly.
That was really stupid, but okay.
Yeah, it works brilliantly. Krieger is able to parachute and raft down to safety in the ocean. Meanwhile, like you said, they have scrambled.
Indiana Jones move.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they have scrambled a squadron of fighter jets, and I'm like, why? What are they gonna do?
Not just that. What are their call signs, Brian?
Oh, they do this very intentionally.
Red Wing 1, standing by. Red Wing 3, standing by. Red Wing 5, standing by.
fucking Red 5 and Red. Yeah, it is literally. And they even steal a bunch of lines from Star Wars in this. Did you notice? Like, there's like the one where there's a part where the guy's like, one of them says,
It's on your stick! I can't see him.
they're behind you. I was like, it's a volcano. What are you talking about? He's like, it's behind you. And the guy goes, I can't see him. I can't. And I was like, fuck you. Fuck you.
God.
It's insane.
It's the best part.
But they start shooting missiles at the volcanoes, Kyle. Why? What is the thought process?
Red Wing 3, Fox 1. Red Wing 5, Fox 2.
Behind shooting missiles. They're like, Red 5, Fox 2.
Oh, God.
Like, what are you doing?
Oh, God, we're out of missiles, switching to guns.
Like, what is happening? What is happening?
I lost my shit when that happened.
They're behind you. What is fucking? It's a volcano. What are you talking about?
Oh, God. The only thing they were missing is when the volcanologist chick was like saying, we need focus fire on this location to stop this mega volcano from going off.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys are going to have to hit a target about 2 meters wide.
Insane, dude. Oh my God. I love, and I think this line is from something too. There's a point where,
let's plow the road.
You heard him. Let's plow the road.
There's this line where he goes, you heard him, let's plow the way. And then they start like shooting, like that's from something. I don't know what that's from, but that's from something.
And they're like, they're like using their guns for this. And it's so dumb.
The stupidest fucking thing. I love one of them ejects, and like his plane gets hit by a rock, and he's like, I'm going down. And he ejects, and then after he ejects, he immediately gets hit by. It's incredible. Look, this movie is kind of incredible. So then they bring in another AC-130.
And this one's a prop one. This is an old one.
And they say, oh, it's got props, so we don't have to worry about the ash.
But who is their specialist rescue team? It's not military.
Is this motorcycle riders?
No, it's a bunch of like skydivers.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Because now they're doing like Air Force One shit here at the end. They literally, because I was like, what's the plan here? Because they keep calling it a tow plane. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Part here where Dean Cain is having to do some crazy ass fucking maneuvers. And this plane is like completely sideways or something. And people are literally getting sucked out of the roof of the plane.
It's incredible. People are just flying. And I love that apparently they just forgot to buckle their seatbelts because a bunch of the people, like the volcanologist and like the mom and the kid and stuff, are just in their seats buckled in and are fine. But everybody else is just getting sucked out of the fucking plane. And I love, then a mega volcano arises.
Yes,
like
right under Krieger.
Volcano arises right under Krieger, fucking kills him. And when it comes out, Dean Cain goes,
oh my, you are a big bitch.
Oh my, you are a big bitch.
Oh, God.
It's so good. Then they're like, the tow plane is here. And I'm like, they're going to tow? Can you tow planes? I don't know.
No,
maybe.
I don't think you can.
Maybe you can. I have no
there's
idea.
one guy I have to bring up in this plane who's just like the most random like minor character possible. He sits right next to what's his name? Brandon's character the whole time. The volcanologist on the plane.
Yeah.
And he is hearing everything. That's a conversation between him and the military base, him and Jim talking about what the dangerous situation they're in.
Yeah.
And he's just casually going like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is the most insane thing. It's like he just hears everything. He's not concerned at all.
He's like, I hope this doesn't delay my flight too much.
I just found that hilarious that every time they say something, you just get a slight head turn, but there's no reaction at all from this guy.
He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, all right, well, that probably... Well, I probably add like, maybe I can just reschedule my connecting flight and I'll be, it's like,
oh God.
So then these two guys jump out of the plane in fucking motorcycle helmets and leathers, and they skydive over to the commercial jet, fly in through the hole in the roof, and then attach ropes
lines,
to it so that they can try to tow the plane away because it's still stuck on autopilot. That's the thing that's insane to me, is that if it's stuck on autopilot and it's doing this thing, you're not going to be able to It just makes no sense. Anyways, I think you could maybe tow a plane if the person flying if the plane didn't have any power and they were like flying it, like with
you might be able to like glide.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like clearly with the plane doing its own thing, you're not whatever. But they're like, we're gonna tow it, and then that's what happens. They're like, never mind, we can't tow it. That's not working. So then instead they have the guys go back again, and they're just gonna take people off the
back
plane,
and forth,
one at a time, Air Force One style. Except they don't even have the wherewithal to do the thing where the planes change altitude. They literally just have some sort of mechanism, I guess, that launches them back up to the AC-130 or whatever. So anyways, they're getting people off one by one, but Dean Cain at this point, a giant hunk of rock
just comes and hits him right in the chest. Is like, no, Dean Cain.
Impale him in the chest, and the flight attendant is very sad about this.
Yes,
for some reason
they
have a very intense moment, and she kisses him because she loves him now, I guess, even though they've been knowing each other for 5 minutes and didn't really seem to get along that much. Even like had like no screen.
Literally everything about their interaction is all happenstance,
and all of like her fucking things up and like hitting his head again. Like they don't even have any good whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. Then so they get everybody else off.
Oh, they also load up the plane with a bunch of explosives.
And I love they come to Dean Cain. One of the motorcycle helmet guys comes up and he's like, "All right,
we've loaded the plane with 200 pounds of explosives. You have to hit the center of the volcano.
We're getting out of here. We put 200 pounds of explosive on the plane. You got to make sure you hit the middle of the volcano." And Dean Cain's like, "All right."
Yeah.
And I love, again, it's like, how can he do that though if it's stuck on autopilot? Whatever, fine, sure. I guess he's just gonna muscle his way through it. And then meanwhile, as he's flying towards the volcano to blow it up to solve the problem, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
He's about to get hit by another big like fucking flaming rock, and the colonel guy's like,
"I've got an incoming bogey. He's not gonna make it."
He's got a bogey on him. I got it. Flies in. I thought he was going to block it with his plane.
That would have been great.
That would have been incredible. But he just shoots it and destroys it, which was a little disappointing because I was really hoping he was going to like sacrifice himself. But no, he just shoots it and blows up the thing. And then Dean Cain is able to fly the plane into the heart of the mega boss volcano.
Everything blows up in a glorious CGI mess.
Yes, just absolute nonsense. Dean Cain is vaporized, and then we're back on the plane with our survivors flying away.
I'll never forget him.
I'll never forget him. Neither will I. Single tear movie.
Neither will I.
Well, we also have like the celebration in the Regency conference room where there was like one point where they kept flipping between our main specialist dude and the volcanologist, and it was like 4 or 5 different cutbacks between them being like, "We did it,
we did it." Exactly. And then the plane lands and fade to black. Congratulations. What a absolutely
film.
Good, bad, incredible film.
Incredible.
And like, look, if every Asylum movie was this, I would have no complaints. This is the absolute nonsense in the best way. I loved everything about this movie. It makes no sense. It doesn't
scrambling
even care to.
jets against a volcano.
Literally have a squadron of fighter jets fighting a volcano. It's the dumbest fucking thing. But I think the thing that's really important is that even though there are moments where you can tell it's like, because they're like referencing Star Wars and stuff, and there's like clearly some stuff they're having fun with, it doesn't feel like it feels like it's taking itself fairly seriously.
Yes.
Which is impressive considering how stupid it is.
Which is what made Titanic 2 a good bad for us, that it was earnest in a weird way.
It feels earnest, unlike something like Thanksgiving or one of those movies or Sharknado, where you can tell it's like it's not only intentionally bad, but they're like everybody is not taking it seriously. It's all just like a joke. It feels like the people in this movie are taking this movie seriously, and it's just the worst, dumbest thing you've ever seen.
Yes,
but again, they think they also know that. It's very fascinating, but it's incredibly good bad. I love this movie. Airplane vs. Volcano. Go check it out. It's on Tubi. Yeah, just fantastic stuff. As always, you can do us a giant favor by heading over to patreon.com/GB or BB. Support us there for a little bit a month. Get access to some bonus content. We're doing GB or BB shorts. We're talking about weird random things that we find. We talked about a Mr. Delicious video. We talked about
Power tool safety.
Power tool safety this month. We recorded. It should be out before too long, or Not this month. It would have already been out at this point when you're seeing this. We recorded about a very unique YouTube channel that Kyle found somewhere that we will maybe revisit in the future because of some of the most fascinating videos.
Yeah.
So that is all for the $5 and up a month patrons over on Patreon. I have a podcast called This Film Is Over. We talk about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, I think our most recent episode will have been Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I did not know was based on a book, but it is.
No,
the Shane Black's
wow.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Nice.
It's based on a book called Bodies Are Where You Find Them. It's like a little like mystery thriller novel or something, detective story. So I think that'll be our most recent one when this is out for that. Oh, merch. If you want to buy some merch, Kyle's wearing it.
What?
Quantum Physics. Just head over to tpublic.com. All the links for all of this stuff is in the description down below.
Speaking of quantum physics, I think isn't Neil Breen's film?
Neil Breen's film it's showing in theaters. Hopefully it'll be out. I haven't heard anything. Have you heard something?
I have not.
Okay, yeah, I haven't heard when it'll actually be out to order, but
yeah.
Hopefully,
knowing Neil Breen, he likes to do like probably a year circuit before putting it out.
he's gonna milk the theater run as long as he can.
That's where he gets all of his money.
And we won't be doing it obviously until we can get a physical copy so we can actually do an episode, because if we just go see it in a theater, you can't do the episode. So we will do it as soon as it comes out and we can purchase it and make that happen. But that's gonna do it for this episode. Until next time, keep watching movies,
especially Airplane versus Volcano.
It's the best. It's the best. I could not. What a delight.
Get him out of here!